Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here and to be able to speak on behalf of American children whose innocence and health are being compromised, whose lives are being ripped apart by ideologically driven medical experimentation. I represent a community of people who have been harmed by these procedures and yet largely are ignored by the same doctors, the same clinics and medical system that have harmed us. I've become an advocate for protecting children from what is often mistakenly referred to as gender-affirming care, because it is by no means care, scientific medical abuse that violates every tenet of medical ethics. This ideology is festering at an unimaginable scale within our hospital systems, our culture, our communities, and to many within our own families. For me, it started with being lied to about who I was by adults outside of my family. I was made to feel that the way that God beautifully made me was in fact a mistake that could only be fixed by so-called modern medicine. My doctors, rather than guiding me, they affirmed my childish misgivings about my developing body. My belief that I wasn't just a tomboy, that if I liked having short hair, if I liked being around the boys more, if I behaved more like my older brothers, I actually was a boy who just so happened to be born in a girl's body. At 13 years old, I was administered puberty blockers and testosterone in high doses. And when I was only 15, they removed my breasts. My questions about whether I will be able to have children or about the future of my reproductive health and my overall health have gone unanswered. But that mastectomy ensured that I am never going to be able to nourish whatever children I may have. And this happened before I was even mature enough to understand that one day I would aspire to become a mother. Because of the moral failings of my doctors, I forever have lost significant parts of my identity as a now adult woman while I was still a child. And there are tears that I don't show to the world. There is grief that every single day I carry with me silently. The only thing in the world that makes me angrier is knowing that this is continuing to happen to children all across the United States and throughout the globe. But they messed with the wrong kid. At 16 years old, I rejected the lies that I was sold. I detransitioned, and I chose to face the world and sound the alarm on what is happening to my generation, both in the hopes that this would set forth a movement of young people who chose to break free from ideology, and also that one day, no child would ever have to speak up about this ever again. And what this movement has achieved in such a small amount of time is far greater than I have ever dreamed of. 26 states now have passed laws to save children. Laws that all have been upheld by the Supreme Court earlier this year. President Trump has signed countless executive orders to fight for biological reality, to fight for the protection of our kids. My own lawsuit filed by Center for American Liberty is finally moving forward. And of course, the Department of Health and Human Services has been a decisive part in our wins this first year of Trump's second term. With the release of the peer-reviewed gender dysphoria report, it has become official U.S. policy that these treatments in children are questionable at best, life-shattering at worst, and this industry needs to be challenged and taken down for the sake of future generations. Because there is no such thing as being transgender, nor children born in the wrong bodies. Every boy and every girl deserves to be loved the way that they were beautifully created in their mother's womb. And to the young people out there who are struggling with this mental illness, I want you to know that there is a better way out. And it's not too late to accept the beautiful way that God has created you. My story turned out to be a success story, but it was only in spite of my doctors and the horrible things that they did to me, to my family. I am only one voice out of thousands of children, but our cries for help have finally been heard. And the Trump administration and the HHS and Secretary Kennedy have done an incredible job this year, ensuring that this abuse is going to cease one day. I am incredibly excited to see the many more wins that we are going to have moving forward in the next few years. On behalf of every single child who once was mistaken that they were, thank you for everything.